Welcome to iPen Podcast, Interviews and Conversations. Here we bring entrepreneurs and their business to their audience and communities as well as ours. We welcome and connect with them to share who they are and what they do. Authors, entrepreneurs, we extend the invitation to promote your business here on our podcast and in iPen Magazine. Your article, your story, your promotions, how you can connect with others, a new audience, a quarterly magazine presented online for all to view and subscribe to. For articles, ads, and subscriptions, please contact ipendesigns@gmail.com. For your viewing, you can see past articles, past interviews on www.nanettembuchanan.com. Welcome to the show. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I'm Nanette Buchanan, and this is iPen Vision's Interviews and Conversations. It's our podcast station, and we'd love to have you as a guest on our show to tell our audience and your audience what you do, how you did it, what your journey was, and make a network connection. That's what we're trying to do here, building a network connection. Whereas if you need someone or you don't know what to do and they've been a guest on our show, you can definitely get in touch with them. All you have to do is get in touch with us. You can view past shows, as the commercial said, on our YouTube channel or on my website. So without further ado, I want to bring my partner onto the stage. She's my partner in crime because when I can't do, she does everything for me. And I really appreciate her being a part of this journey with me. So, hey, Felice, come to the stage. How are you, my dear?
That is a round of applause for you, my dear friend.
How are you feeling?
I'm well. I'm well.
How's that weather down there in Texas? You burning up yet?
Crazy, girl, crazy. Not too far from me, just north of us, they had a tornado. Nothing like St. Louis, though. So we need to keep them in our thoughts and prayers.
But yes, keep them in our prayers. Yeah.
The weather is...
Well, I did think about you because when it hit 90 here, I was like, I wonder what it is in Texas.
Well, it's not that warm because of all the rain here in the last couple of days. But a couple of days ago, we were almost at 100. So, yay.
Wow.
So the weather is crazy, but hey, nothing like Texas.
You're doing okay. And that's what matters. That's what matters. Yeah. So I want our audience to know. Yeah, I'm excited too, because I want our audience to know about what we're building here, and an example of what we're building are some of the people that we touch and retouch, and they come back, and you can see their growth, you can see what they've done, you can see where they've made changes, because we all have valleys and hills in our lives. You know, we all go through the ups, the downs, the changes, redirection, and everything else. And this gentleman has been when we first started. When we first started doing this, Lise, this is when we met Mr. McCauley.
I know.
I just want the audience to know that we appreciate the fact that he's back. He's back.
Yeah.
So we didn't lose any of our clout, because he wouldn't be back if we lost clout. I mean, he wouldn't come back to us.
Like, he's mountain climbing.
You know, so he's mountain climbing. Yes,
he's mountain climbing.
Yes, he is. So
I know we all have valleys, but this is a mountain climber right here. So super excited.
Yes. So I want to bring to the stage our. Yes, I can't wait. I want to bring to the stage Mr. Anthony McCauley. Everybody, welcome him, please. He's tonight's
super round of applause.
We want to share and care and love on him because of the simple do. This is what we do. Tonight's guest is Anthony McCauley. Welcome, sir. How are you?
I can't. Were you talking about me? Come on. There's no way.
Yes, way.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, way.
Pleasure. I am so excited to see the both of you again. And thank you again for circling around iPen Magazine, ladies and gentlemen. You have got to get in tune with iPen.
Yeah. And again,
because the thing about it is one thing that all of us have in common as professionals in the fields that we do. We all need the connection to an audience.
Yes.
And if iPen can make that connection easier for you, that's what we're trying to do. You know, we all need an audience. Everybody needs an audience. You can't sell your books. You can't sell your cars. You can't sell your programs. You can't be a speaker. You can't do anything. Just like we say, well, social media, you can't even build a social media audience if nobody knows who you are.
Right.
So that's what we're doing. But Anthony, what we want you to do, okay, is introduce yourself, because we can't give you the props that you should. So please tell the audience, who is Anthony McCauley?
Well, Anthony McCauley was born and raised in Thomasville, North Carolina, which is used to be the home of Thomasville Furniture Industries, where people from around the world would travel to my hometown for the annual furniture markets. My parents raised us in the blue collar work, and they both had an opportunity to retire from the furniture factories in my hometown in Thomasville, North Carolina. I was in school. I was a standout athlete, football, basketball, ran track, but I was plagued with lots of injuries my senior year in high school. Also, after high school, Anthony McCauley hit the world. Life happened. And I found myself working some areas of some great corporate positions. Found myself doing some amazing things with my life, because my father taught me how to stand as a man.
Very good.
Growing up in the home, I had no idea why he say, hey, look, you got to get up and chop the wood in the morning to get the house warm. What? I'm 12 years old, man.
Get on your dad.
The eldest son of three, and I am so thankful and grateful. Now I see what my biological father was doing. He was making a man out of me, and he showed me through two parents. My mother and father were both in the home, which was another blessing.
Yes.
Which was another blessing. He showed me how he loved his wife. And he made it clear to me that you will not disrespect your mother. That's my wife.
Yeah.
And also after that, I started diving into some areas that was painted up so beautiful for me. And it felt good. It tasted good. But it wasn't good for me. You know? So I've been found myself, and I tell people to this day, if you need a living witness testimony of the overcoming power of overcoming darkness and walking into a marvelous light, I'm your example.
Okay.
I'm your example. I got book smarts and street smarts, which is another. I used to wonder and always would question, Lord, why is my testimony dealing with addictive behaviors? And I survived it. I survived it.
Yeah.
So now I'm in a space now where I'm helping people heal communities through empowerment, like you put up on there. You've been promoting me. iPen has been promoting me, saying he's healing communities through empowerment. That's exactly what I've been doing. Because the journey that I started on, what I have witnessed is, now that I've dived a little bit deeper into the darkness of why, I'm finding out firsthand that traumatic events are affecting entire communities around the world. So not just individuals. You know, I saw and I've witnessed how experiences like household dysfunctions, abuse, neglect, or various forms of any type of family challenges, it can create ripple effects that last for generations.
Yeah, definitely.
I've been on this journey and been on a residency training of dealing with ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, and also I've got my bachelor of social work. And I always felt like, man, I'm too old to go to school. I can't do this. I'm tired of school, and I don't want to deal with these children anymore. But God has another plan for me.
Yes.
So I start my bachelor's degree in social work next week.
Congratulations! Yay! Yeah. You may be sick of it, but guys, like, be sick of it all you want. But this what we doing.
Well, I walked into my office this morning, and my student support team. There's a book on my desk that says "First Steps to Becoming a Principal." And I'm like, what? No way! No way! So, and it said, the note on there said planting a seed.
Oh,
yes.
And I was like, wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the thing about it is, in all that you do, we go to certain levels and we think that's the top until we see the mountain that's in the distance.
Well, I told you, it's a mountain climber.
You know what I mean? Until we see that mountain in the distance, and then we like, well, in order for me to get to that mountain, I got to come up off of this mountain, and go back down, get what I got to get, and then go back up.
Wow.
So a lot of times that's what the experience is that we do. And we, like you said, we don't notice it until we get to the top of the mountain and look over where we came.
Yes.
Because now we can see it. You know what I mean? We can now see it. You can't see it while you're walking it. You can't see it while you're on level plane. You got to get higher so you can look back and see that valley that you just came through.
Right.
So now you've progressed.
Right.
And you looking back and you're like, okay, I made it to this mountain. And when you turn and look the other way, God points you toward the next mountain. Right. And you looking at it going, wait a minute. I started over here. Now that makes you reflect. And when you reflect, you go, you know what? I didn't realize each mountain that I climbed put me higher in the walk toward my purpose. He can't feel. Sunday, my minister said, you know, God wants to give you an abundance of blessings, but it's just like telling you, I want you to swim, and you want to learn to swim, and you get in the tub of water first.
Right.
God can't give you an ocean if you in a tub.
No.
Right.
You know what I mean? You in a tub of water paddling away. He ain't telling you to swim in no tub. You got to get out and swim.
Yeah, you gotta swim.
Yeah. So you make sure that you keep looking at those mountains. Keep looking back at those valleys and those hills, because God's got something in store for you. It's obvious. It's obvious.
Well, what I hear that the peak of one mountain is just the base of the next.
That's right.
So it's a base, right? And again, you are so into the climb, into the that you don't see the results of your efforts, of your climbing, the way that the world sees it, right? You know, because everybody is not called to mountain climb. But you know, as you are climbing, you know, God's purpose and his seeds are being spread all out. You are like in the field planting one seed at a time, and you don't ever look back and see this
garden.
The garden. This whole farm of crops going on, because you are busy doing the work that you are called to do, right? So we stand in admiration of you, sir.
Yeah, we do. We love what you do. But let me ask you this, Anthony. When I met you, you were the CEO or are the CEO of Males of Distinction. And all I could think of was the marvelous things that was going to be done with this group of I'm taking these youth and I'm making sure that these young men understand, because men carry the load. And a lot of women nowadays think, oh, I don't need no man. I got it. But the thing about it is the growth of our society, the growth of our living depends on how well our men thrive.
Yeah.
It depends on how well our men, like you said, your dad and everything else, pass off lessons to not only men, but to our daughters as well. Mm-hmm. Our daughters have to learn what type of man they would associate with so that they can progress. And they progress together. No offense to any women, no offense to what women do, no offense to our client. But there's no such thing as we don't need the male. We need a male, and we need him to be a strong male. So being the CEO of Males of Distinction, just give a short thing on to our audience of what was behind just that program, because there's 1,001 that you're doing now. but just that program. Yeah. What was the thought in you starting that?
Wow. I found myself, when I first moved back to North Carolina from Jacksonville, Florida, I moved to ended up in Moore County, and I ended up marrying a young lady from my high school years that we were best friends. Mm-hmm. And it landed me in Moore County, okay? So I found myself, I said, okay, I need a job. So I said, what is it that I want to, Lord, help me with this. Mm-hmm. So this young lady, who, God rest her soul, and she said, look, you need to start working with the youth. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. So I ended up, what I said I wasn't going to do, I walked in prayer, I fasted, and I started working in the school systems with a local group, communities in school, doing things of that nature. So I found out the young men in the school were finding themselves was flocking to me. One principal at the school said, Anthony, you're a disruption in my school. And I'm like, what are you talking about? All these kids are flocking to you. I said, well, I take them to class. I walk them to class. They come to me. They tell me everything. I said, so I'm mentoring. Wow, I'm mentoring. Yeah. So one teacher said, you're like the Pied Piper, man. And so I had to go Google that. What does that mean? Is that good? Is the Pied Piper? But the Pied Piper was awesome. Yeah. So at that time, my wife said, how about calling a group Males of Distinction? She named the group. And I was like, wow, what in the world could that stand for? I said, wait a minute. That means males is making achievable, life-enhancing strides. So distinction means you're set apart. Yes. So I found it. I wrote everything. I followed it up, and I Googled, how do you start a nonprofit organization? I've been helping people start nonprofits for the last 10 years. Really? And so many, and I'm not knocking the people out there, but it's not hard. It's a process. So I'm the proud owner of a motivational success program for young men between the ages of 8 and 18 years old. The first group of young men that I had are now seniors, and some have graduated, and we're having our first Males of Distinction reunion coming up July 26th.
Awesome! Yay!
Yeah. Those young men will tell me things now when I see them in the. Oh, and they are so polished too. They can socially interact with you, and they tell me things. I'm like, where'd you get that from? There's like, you told us about that.
See?
Yes.
Harvest right there.
And Felice, I've had one out of 58 men, young men. Over the past 10 years, 150 boys have come through my organization. So I've had a couple of them end up in jail. But they told me, they said, I lost my growth mindset, Mr. McCauley. They call me Mr. Anthony. I lost my growth mindset. I mean, I got to get back, get away from this fixed mindset.
Right.
I taught these young men in the 3rd and 4th grade about growth and fixed mindset.
Right.
Bravo.
And they're walking in it. So males of distinction, right now, it turned out to be a group of elementary young boys right now, because that's where I'm finding that. But this group I deal with now, they think they're the toughest of the toughest. Can't tell them nothing. You know, they look at you like you've never been through anything. But I have to deal. What I'm finding is so many single mothers raising. You might have a 10-year-old young man who's standing 6 foot tall.
Exactly.
And he's you can't say, look, man, don't put your hand on the stove over there. I just turned it on. It's red hot.
Yeah.
He gonna go touch it. He gonna go touch it. So now, but I will never give up on these young men. I'm still here doing males of distinction, in addition to everything else I do within the community. So thank you. I'm the CEO and founder of Males of Distinction Youth Program, and I consult around the world. I have people reach out to me, and a teacher told me this morning. She said, "Have you reached out to Steve Harvey?" I said, "No, Steve Harvey needs to reach out to me."
That part, that part.
You know. So, but I said, but when I'm not going to even go there with that. But we're all in this together. We're all in this together. So, but what I'm finding when I dive a little bit deeper with the group of kids, this generation of kids I'm dealing with now, there are some. I'm gonna go back to this word. You're gonna hear me talk about it a lot. There are some traumas associated with generational things in their life. I want to know who's your grandfather, man? Who's your grandmother? Most of the time, finding out grandmothers now are not like the grandmothers I remember.
We say that.
It's a very, very powerful thing. Males of distinction, dealing in community engagement. And it's not just some nice thing I'm doing. No, I'm teaching life skills, real world scenarios of, look, even to the point I'm like, look, man, there's nothing in jail you need, man.
Right.
Okay? I've done that for you. Let me tell you what's gonna happen.
Right.
Okay? I've done that part for you, okay? It's real life, it's real talk, man, okay? But some, just daddy told me the same thing.
Right.
So I walked it out, and you keep playing with fire, you're gonna get burned.
Right. And you know what the thing about it is that I think I told you this when I first met you. Myself, when we do programs like that, we're getting ready to walk up on our, I think it's 50th. I think it's almost 50 years that I started the track program that I had, and it was for male and female. So bless you for the years that you've done it. But the thing about it is, in the 50 years, our program, when it shut down, almost maybe 8 or 9 years ago, it shut down. But it'll be 50 years since we started that program. We dealt with over 350.
Wow.
Males and females, because they were running track. That was the catch. For them to run track. We wanted to take these children, like you said, out of the inner city. And the way our thought was, they keep going to college and they keep coming back home.
Right.
They're wasting their mom and dad's money.
Right.
Going into college, and they can't stay there. And it's not because they can't do it academically. It wasn't because they didn't have the athletic talent. It was because they were not used to living away from home. They had not been any further than the radius of their schools, the radius of their homes. So I think the connection that I'm trying to make here is to say that programs like that, programs like yours, give them life skills that they're no longer getting in school. that sometimes they're no longer getting at home, or it needs to be enhanced and embraced.
Yeah.
Because mama's been saying it, grandma's been saying it, daddy been saying it, but they ain't embracing it.
Right.
They're not looking at it. So the thing is, these type programs, and that was one of the things that I definitely wanted to dig deep into, was the fact of social services and community support. Because the thing about it is they're trying to delete everything.
Yeah.
They're trying to get rid of everything, and they don't understand the dynamics that are going on in some of these homes. And for some reason, they think it's all one color. They think it's all one nationality that has this problem, and they don't realize they got it too.
Yeah.
It's in every family. It's in every nationality, every color. I know in our program, we dealt with everybody.
Yes.
And in dealing with everybody, those kids, they could run their behinds off. But behind closed doors, they was trying to do all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And you had to take that away from them and show them something else. And once we showed them, it was to the point where when my son went into college, the teacher told him to write a paper about why they wanted to go to college, what was interesting. And he told them about how he had traveled all over the United States and how he had did. That lady told him that was a fantasy for Black kids.
Oh, wow.
That was not a paper that she asked for. We had to literally go to the school in college and tell them, look, you're not understanding. This kid has traveled since he was 4 years old. So he has a mindset of what he knows what a college campus looks like. He knows how to pack his clothes and get on an airplane. He knows how to do these things. So some of the things that we give them, Anthony, is the basis to who they become later, because that same group, I've got police chiefs.
Yes.
I've got dentists.
Yeah.
I've got lawyers.
Yeah.
I've got doctors. I've got construction company owners.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I got people that live overseas. I got ministers.
Yes.
I've got, therapists. Because now these people are, my son was the baby in the group and he's in his 40s.
Wow.
So some of them are now grandparents, some of them are parents. So look at what you're building.
Yeah.
And that overwhelms me all the time. When I look at what these type programs do that can't get funding.
Yes.
Yeah.
That can't get the city officials to even recognize. Like you said, somebody need to come and talk to me. I don't need to be going out trying to figure out what they're going to do for me, because I'm already doing for them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So this brings to my, I'm sorry, Anthony, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
So, as of course, a mother that has a son and a single mother, the majority of his life, it's just dawning on me, even as a young man connects with you in your organization, and because a mother cannot teach a young boy how to be a man.
How to be a man.
Just cannot. I'm here to tell anybody that thinks differently, you cannot do it. Because they need to have a reflection, right? Yeah. So thank you first for being that reflection to those young men. But I'm thinking about this, how hard you're working in this mountain that you're climbing. And, even though it's a tough mountain, you're happily climbing it. But when they go home and the mother's mindset is still of that, I don't need a man, I'm not, and the male, not the uplifting, right, that needs to occur to be in concert with what you're doing for their sons. Is there a way? I mean, I know it's prevalent, but is it a way? How do we combat that? And do we need an organization that targets the single mothers of males and help them with that mindset? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh God, that's a great question. And I do, in addition to males of distinction, I also have ladies of merit.
Okay.
the Ladies of Merit program is I created that as well. I took the same model and I made it for the females, but I can't run that because I don't know how to raise a young lady.
Yes.
But the thing that's needed is support. When you drop your son off to me, and I tell you that we're getting ready to change the oil in this truck, I'm getting ready to show him that, and you say, well, hey, I just bought him a new pair of shoes. I don't want to get dirty. I told you before the meeting that we were going to get dirty. So, or the thing that I need is support. I'm going to correct your son.
Yeah.
I can't let him go in the way of wrong. I don't reward bad behavior.
Yeah.
I will not reward bad behavior.
Yeah.
Right now, when I first started this, if I told a young man we're going to visit a college campus, I will hardly get 5 or 6 boys.
Yeah.
But when I said we're going to visit a college campus and we're going to see Duke Carolina play, I got to rent 3 vans.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like that mindset.
No, at all.
I want to take you on a tour, educational tour of the museum.
Yes, exactly.
And teach you some things. I want to take you somewhere. So what I need, the single mothers that I deal with, and it's a majority. It's a majority.
Yeah.
Because the dad might be incarcerated.
Yeah.
I got situations where mother and father both are incarcerated. I've had young men, dads, to get out of jail and come to me and say, hey, look here, man, I don't need you with my son. And I stop them in their tracks. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
You get over here and help me with him.
Yes.
And what resources do you need? Because you just got out of jail.
Right.
So
right.
So I need the support is needed. And like you said, the funding piece. I've had it. I'm in Pinehurst, North Carolina. And there's I don't have, my program is not labeled African American programming.
Right.
Right now, I'm finding out if I go across every socioeconomic status I have to deal with now, they're calling me. However, the people that don't look like me call me and say, hey, Anthony, I need to talk to you. But it's anonymous.
Yeah.
I want to support you. And that's okay too.
Right.
Because it gives me a chance to educate.
Yeah.
It gives me a chance to break the barriers. And it gives me a chance to be, like you said, on the front line of changing your mindset to recognize, you know what? Hey, man, if I break it all the way down, if your blood type is A positive and I'm A positive, I need a transfusion, and you don't look like me, you can save my life.
Right.
You can save my life.
Yeah.
So, but I need the support. And I've had support. If I need something for my boys, I hit the community, and here's the blessing that God has given me. Somebody will say, what you need, Anthony. Instead of the organizations that call me because the boys look like me, they get thousands and thousands or hundreds of thousands. But they still call, Anthony, we need your help. I'm not some mentoring guru, but I'm a subject matter expert in life's hard knocks.
Very good.
Right.
You know,
and you know what?
And can walk and came out of darkness and walking into marvelous light. I can help you.
Yeah.
But now let me ask you this about the parents and the student thing. You know, okay, we got a difference in age, and then some you got that closeness in age because they're young parents. You got some that have the delusion of, like you said, that they're the man and they don't need another man doing this. And then you got some that have the you know, delusional thinking that you're in it for yourself. There's some kind of way that you're in it and you're gaining more than what you're giving, which I never understood. I've never understood that, because the hours we spend trying to evolve the programs and trying to make sure that the programs are running right is nowhere near the time that the average worker puts in just going to their job.
That's right.
It's not a job that's hourly. You don't work like that. The thing that I thought about was the correlation between the parents' understanding. When you get and you won't get I'll say that because, like I said, I have that experience. You won't get all of the parents to react. You'll get the kids to react because they understand what they're getting. You know, sometimes they get more than the parents even know they're getting.
Right.
You understand what they understand what they're getting, but this mindset thing, because you know that's my thing too. You know, you got to have that positive mindset. If your mindset is stuck, everything around you is going to be stuck.
That's right.
So you got to have a fluent mindset where you look at things and you go back and you grab the negative and you pull it, and you gotta work with your mindset.
Yeah.
How do we, as a community, as organizations, like you said, I don't have to have a program that says, hey, ladies, hey, guys, I'm raising your kids because y'all don't know what y'all doing.
Right.
We don't have to put up a big sign saying they wouldn't be doing the things that they're doing because you're not even giving them accountability or responsibility.
Right.
You're not giving them just the basic of what they need.
Right.
You know, you're not doing what the average old school mother would do.
Yeah.
You're not even doing that.
Right.
So what do we do to, because I know, you know, we don't want to put a damper on having the parents show up, and if they don't show up, the kids can't be in the program. That, you don't want that. You don't want it where they got to show up every so often or the kid is out of the program. We don't want anything to influence the kid being in the program. But once you make these beautiful children that recognize what they don't have, recognize what they've gone over, recognize what their missed connection is, how do we get the parents to connect to them?
We've got to, and I wish that everybody, people haven't been taught about empowerment. I'm trying to empower you. My motives are pure, okay? My motives in making sure that little Anthony knows that he has some inherent strengths, he has the wisdom, and he has the capability to move forward in his life, and he does not have to be a victim of his circumstance. Because circumstance, I broke this down to my boys. Circumstance is the current circle that you're standing in that moment.
Wow.
Right.
From moment to moment. It changed again.
Yeah.
Circumstances change. So I'm all about empowerment and motivation. I like to create conditions for people to know, and from a genuine standpoint. I don't need, honey, look here, I don't need nothing from you. I'm here to motivate this young man. You know what? It's about, for me, creating conditions where a young man or a young lady can access their own power. Mama not gonna be there all the time. Daddy used to tell me, I need for you to come in the backyard when I fire up this barbecue pit so you know how to cook.
So you know how to cook. That's right.
And he said, and Mama, every time Mama got in the kitchen, I'm in the kitchen seeing what Mama was fixing.
Yeah.
From a community standpoint, we have to continue. I'm big on this empowerment perspective of asking different questions like, what strengths? I look at my boys, their strengths are already there.
Yeah.
But we have to find out what are the barriers that are preventing you from using your gifts. They're not used to that type of talk. So there has to be the program Strengthening Families. And you open up the center and you've bought dinner and you've invited people to come and 2 people show up. You've got to invest in yourself. You got to invest. You got to give it time. It doesn't happen overnight. I found that through all the work I've been doing, that some of the most successful community initiatives are those initiatives where people have lived through challenges and are at a decision-making table where they say, you know what? I value Anthony's expertise. He's a subject matter expert.
Well, I'm gonna be negative, Anthony.
Okay.
I don't like what you do. I don't like what you do because you want to come in and change our image. You want to come in and tell me my home structure is wrong. Who are you to tell me that what I'm doing is wrong? And I'm saying that because, like I said, I coached.
Right.
Something as simple as coaching.
Right.
We had to literally tell parents, either sit in your car,
right,
sit in the stand, or take your kid home.
Wow.
It's either one. If you want them to run, because our intention was, if these kids can run from the age of 5 to the age of 17, even if they're not the best at running, they're consistent enough to help a college team score points. And if they're consistent enough, that college will give them a scholarship for running. Well, the one that's just consistent, they're the ones that want just education. They really want to go to school for education. We had some top kids go to top schools that were not top runners, but all they had to do was do what they were doing at 5 years old. It's easy to run around a loop track if you've been doing it since you were 5.
Right.
But we had parents, their kids would make it to different events, like you said.
Yeah.
They make it to the nationals in California. Well, I ain't never been to California. How they gonna go?
Right.
Well, you ain't running.
Right.
And they not running because we want them to run. We want them to be shown so a school can say, hey, you want to be a doctor? Come and run for our school, and we'll give you the funds to get those books, to be on the campus. So they don't even see the finish line.
Right.
Yeah.
So your program is set up to give the kid that finish. But what do we do? And I understand what you're saying. What do we do to mold these or get these parents? I don't need you to do anything but show up for your kid.
Right.
Yeah.
The first thing that came to my mind when you said that was toxic positivity. It's hard to tell. And the mom, I understand, Anthony, who do you think you are coming in here? I understand.
Exactly.
It's hard for me to say, look here, I need for you guys just to look on the bright side.
Right.
Or everything happens for a reason. That can actually harm, but I'm not, that's not my goal.
That's not what you're doing.
That's not what I'm doing. Instead, I'm trying to get you to the point where you understand where motivation begins. And what I do is I give it to you. It begins with this authentic validation.
Exactly.
Of somebody who's had lived experiences.
Right.
Who's been there. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I try to make sure. And I love it when that comes up, because I've already started by making sure that I'm creating an environment, a space where people can tell the truth without me or anybody else standing in judgment.
Yeah.
If you're in my meeting and you come at me like that, and there's other people, I'm going to protect you in that. I'm not going to let it get out of hand, because what you were saying there, that could get out of hand in a setting. But what I'm going to do is I want to let people know your pain is acknowledged and is real.
Yeah. And not only that, the thing about it is when you get these type people that go against whatever you're doing, regardless to how positive it is, and we get it all the time. We get it as adults. We get it in our personal lives. We get it in our jobs. We get it when we create programs. As authors, we get it when we write a book. You know, you get that small group of people that look at you and say, defend what you're doing. Defend what you're saying.
Yeah. Defend
your why.
Right.
Why are you worried about my kid?
Yeah.
And your kid is doing XYZ.
Right.
Your kid is fine. So why are you worried about this kid? Why would you worry about a kid of another nationality or another culture when this is not your nationality or your culture?
Yeah.
You get all of those influxes. And when those influxes are presented in front of kids, the mindset becomes confused.
Yes.
And we have to reinforce the positive.
Yes.
We have to reinforce that angle that you're saying. We have to reinforce that and say, hey, we living in a pot, like a soup pot.
Yes.
And it's all kind of vegetables in this soup. You got noodles in this soup. You got vegetables in this soup. You got sauce in the soup. You got all kind of stuff. But in order for the soup to get good, we can't sprinkle in too many negatives.
Yeah.
We can't sprinkle in too many sweets. We can't sprinkle in. You got to be able to balance so that this pot of soup is good for everybody to eat.
Yeah. We
got to be able to balance that. And the thing about it is, it's the as you say, what's been laid in your lap. That hey, you going for principal? Hey, you going for this? Hey, you going for that? It's the thing of elevation in your life. Because the more you elevate, those that are behind you see your elevation and they're like, oh my goodness, he's doing that now. Oh my goodness, he's doing that. And they forget your journey. They forget your journey. You don't have too many people that walk up to you today and talk about your yesterday. They talking about what you're doing today. And that's what you want the kids to understand. You can come from any background because nobody goes that deep to figure out. They won't even believe that you came from that background.
Right. Yeah.
It's what you present today.
Yeah.
It's what you present today. And we all have our demons and our wolves and everything that we do. But the thing about it is, I just always teetered and tottered with that. If I'm doing this for your kid, I ain't got to do this for your kid.
Right.
I used to go to the schools when I became in law enforcement. I go to the school and ask a kid, why do you think I'm here? Well, y'all get paid to get here. Yeah, but I get paid regardless if I come here or not.
That's right.
I don't have to come here.
Yeah.
So all of the extras that I do that I don't get paid for, all of the hours that I spend designing a program and making sure that the kids follow this and follow that. Why am I doing all of this? You tell me why. You tell me what you think. And then I have to remind them, I got small ones. You're going to wind up being their teacher.
Yeah.
You're going to be a person that they may bump into and need help.
Yeah.
So I got to have you be able to help somebody else.
Right.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, because, the world we live in now, so many people have been left out and left behind. And so when a good comes in, it's like mud, right? You go you go wading into the mud, right? And all they see is mud. They don't see the clean water being poured in, right? And enough clean water will erase the mud and make it,
make it all clear.
Yeah,
that's
make
right.
it all clear, right?
That's right.
So that's and as you talked about earlier, and then that you said this too, it's about the parents having the poverty mindset instead of growth mindset, right? So again, it's the situation, and I love, Anthony, that you just said something very profound. Is how do you combat that? And that's with toxic. I love that toxic positivity. It's just amazing because again, it's you keeping your focus on your purpose and being here, and let nothing deter you from that because you were purpose for this thing. And where we look at it, it's like, oh Lord, just an overwhelm because again, we're not identifying that thing as our purpose. So all we see is the magnitude of the mountain, and you're steadily just climbing it one step at a time, and keeping it.
And need to be honored and rewarded for such a climb, because the thing about it is there's so many that look at the mountain and go, I ain't doing that.
Yeah, right. No, it's like, what? No,
I ain't doing it. As a matter of fact, how far is it around at the bottom? I'll walk around to the bottom. I'll walk around the bottom and just go around it. They don't realize.
Base camp.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay at the base. I'm not going all the way up there. Why I gotta go climb all the way up there to get on the top? I'll go around the bottom. I'll see him when he come down on the other side. Because they assume that the fall that we make is a fall from grace. What they don't understand is sometimes our dip in what we need to do is to pick up stuff that we need to carry to the next mountain.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're picking up what we need. If we can leap from mountain to mountain, we'll never get the people that are in the valley.
For sure.
I gotta go pick up some of them boys. I gotta go pick up some of those families. I gotta go pick up some of those females. I gotta go pick up some of those women. I gotta pick up some of those that are in jail, some of those that are lost, and then take them with me on the next climb. And people don't understand that. They don't understand that. So let me ask you this.
Okay.
You invented something as a founder that could see over the top. You went into a drone service.
Ooh, yeah.
What is that about?
Oh my God. I love when the real estate agent phone number pop up on my phone, it's money time, baby.
I love it.
I'm a certified drone FAA Part 107 drone pilot. And I'm the owner of Gravity Drone Services. What I do the educational part of it. I've taught STEM camps here locally at Sand Hills Community College during the summertime. But what has happened, once again, they may not say it, but there's not many people who look like me that are Part 107 pilots. But I'm on the cut. I'm 10 years strong in the drone industry. From a free workshop I took at the community college, I walked in and I was the only one of me besides the instructor who taught the class. Retired military, came from Fayetteville, and we connected. And I asked him, would you be my mentor for me to get my license? And he's been with me ever since.
Wow.
So now what does the program do? What exactly is it?
The program is, I teach young at the age of 16 years old, you can get your what we call Part 107 FAA drone pilot certificate, registered drone pilot. The drone industry right now, industry standard pay for what I do is $150 per minute.
Minute?
I said per minute.
Minute?
And I could do a 3 to 5 minute video for a real estate agent. Okay, that's just one part. In other parts of the United States, they're delivering food with drones.
Yeah.
In another part of the states, anything high-rise buildings, all these wind turbines, they are inspected by drones. Law enforcement, they use drones. I teach young men but here's another thing I wish the kids would get on board. They think it's the lamest thing ever. I said, okay, well, it's gonna be part of my retirement package. I tell you that. I'm gonna be going selling books, speaking, and flying drones.
Okay.
And I can take off and do it right now. It's a 6-figure income. I teach you not verbatim the test, but I teach you enough where you can pass this test at 80%.
Wow.
It is one of the most amazing industries right now, and I love it. I love rules and regulations.
So let me understand, because you blew me away with that per minute.
Per minute, right?
Per minute. I think I should have had that job. But here's my question. Here's my question. So, of course, you said you do it for real estate, and then you named all of the other industries that need drone pilots because they need to have people that operate these drones to do the job that they need to get done. Okay. So a person goes through your program, and then they're referred to the agencies that they can connect with, or do they have to go find someone to work? Like, how do they find who hires a drone pilot?
If I guarantee you, go on Indeed right now and look up drone pilot jobs. They're everywhere. But right now, you will find that there's going to be areas that are saturated, like out west. The drone industry is not saturated, but full of job opportunities. Right now, you see over here, I'm looking right now, a couple of miles down the road, they have these solar panel fields.
Right.
They send drones down each row to figure out which one of those panels are burnt out.
Oh,
Okay.
With an infrared device on top of a drone. They used to send a man down every aisle to do that.
wow.
Now I could sit in my truck, program the drone, and watch it do its thing.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And land right back in the same spot.
Whoa.
So there's rules and regulations of sky things you got to know.
Yeah.
You gotta know weather. You learn everything as a drone pilot as a manned pilot.
Okay.
Wow.
The drone is called an unmanned aircraft system.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Whereas and I've gotten so many connections now that I might end up getting my parts. Part 61 is a manned pilot. I'm running the pilots all the time. I go to the airport, introduce myself. This is what really flips them out. I walk into the local airport here. My name is Anthony McCauley. I'm a drone pilot. I want to make sure that when I'm not around the airport, but anytime I take my drone up, can I have the manager's card so I can let him know I'm flying? So anytime I fly, I text him. And you know what he said? Man, this is amazing, man, that you do this. If more people would do this and be in tune to, number one, what happens is you can get fined.
Yeah.
Right.
But you could be a recreational flyer or a commercial flyer. I'm a commercial flyer.
Right.
And I'm a subject matter expert in the field of drone services.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Woo. Okay.
And the thing about it is, so now let me ask you this: when you do, like, say you do an individual party event or individual coverage of an event, if you did a coverage of an event, you then would give what, a tape? It tapes and records.
As soon as I get finished, here's the technology in that. When you're flying the whole time you're recording, the drone makes the video for you. Okay?
Man.
When I get finished, when you say, Anthony, come do this pool party at my house. Now, you and I can negotiate any price I want to, okay?
Right.
You know, we'll work it out. I do your pool party, and when I get ready to pack up, we stand there together. Where your iPhone at? I airdrop the videos to you.
Wow.
Wow.
Now, if you want me to come home and edit it, but here's what most people do. I can edit, okay?
Right.
Drone edits. All I do is upload it to Canva.
Right.
And I cut, paste, copy, text, add, move, music, boom, boom. Here you go, Nanette. Now I need $300 from you, Nanette.
Right. Because now I'm done.
I edited your video, and I got you a professional take.
Yeah,
that's beautiful. And the reason why I said it's beautiful, because that gives another platform.
Yes.
For those young men.
Yes.
To go into.
Yes.
That gives them a whole nother, even if they don't stay in it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's enough of a launch to get them started.
Yeah.
So they don't have to.
And at 16, if you got your driver's license in a car, and a real estate agent called me and said, and I can't get to it, I'm gonna call my little partner. Hey man, go to such and such address, and I've already shown. I do flight training. I do flight training with them.
Wow.
Take the pan across, go up and over, go sideways, and do a 360 of the house. Send them the video and get your check.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love it.
And we build from there. So that's the thing I can try, but I can't get that mindset.
Yeah.
I can give a kid right now the drone, and they can fly because they used to doing the controller.
Right.
I crashed 2 drones, but they were not the type of drones I use. My drones, my drones that I use are anywhere between $1,500 to $2,000 a piece. So, and they got all the bells and whistles.
But that's
affordable. I mean, you would think,
considering what you're making.
Yes.
Considering what you're making.
Yes.
Yeah, you need to have the type of equipment considering what you're making. But the thing that I'm thinking of is, this is amazing, especially for those that have no skill,
right?
may not have, the education, may have had some issues with their background.
Yes, yes.
They're able to take a job, and a job that's rewarding enough where they can bank their money, they can do what they need to do, and it leaves them availability to build on other things.
Yes. But it goes with that mindset. Here's
right.
what perturbs me. I charge $25 for your child to come to my class. And I say, meet me at the local park. At the community college, they charge you $250 for 1 week.
Whoa.
So a single parent, I've seen this, it makes me mad. A young lady in the projects would rather come up with $350 to pay her son to go play for a little league football team than to send him to a drone class where he can learn something. But he can't even spell football.
Right.
And I said, what's gonna happen when he twist your ankle?
Right.
But he's gonna go pro. No, he's not. I don't want to bust nobody's bubble, but they're farming these young men that act up in school. They have no leadership skills, but you will pull out of your pocket. You will find $500 for him to play little league football.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, you got to remember too that the system. I was saying this to my husband the other day. I said the system is not. There was a school here in Fayetteville where they honored this teacher because they said the teacher took the time to go from desk to desk to desk to desk to teach reading.
Yes.
They put her up as an exceptional teacher. Because she went, when the child raises their hand, she goes and sits with them and she goes to the desk.
Okay.
I said to my husband, ain't that what they did when we was younger?
Yes.
I can't remember you raising your hand and the teacher not coming to your desk.
Right.
So the coaching, even the coaches don't look at the fact that they need an education. I remember some years ago when the football players, they were saying they had football players that were getting out of football. They were retiring and they found out that they had no business skills. They had no reading skills. They didn't know what to do. So they were incorporating a program for grown men to go through while they were playing football. Well, now we've gone back to them going into football without having that foundation.
Right.
Why would we go back to that? Why would we go back to not giving them the basis of education?
Right.
And depending on something like you said, you don't know what kind of injury you're gonna get.
That's right. I'm a product of that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, one twist of the ankle.
Playing football.
Exactly.
And also, what's happening is you got these agents. I did an example in a group setting. I wrote $500,000 on the board. I told my guys, I said, here's your $5 million check. And it was $500,000. None of them recognized that it was $500,000.
Yeah.
I just found you to a $5 million contract. Here's your check.
Yeah.
Congratulations. They was like, man, I'm paid, man. I said, guys,
Look at
$5
it.
million.
And they
you
was
got
like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I said, this is $500,000. This is what happens. An agent will get you.
Yeah.
I'm up. Yeah. I just gave you a $500,000 check out of $5 million. Because you don't know how many zeros on me.
Right.
Right.
So I use real world examples like that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I teach cursive writing. They think it's the funniest thing ever. They think it's the fun. What is that?
Yeah.
It's a signature.
Yeah.
You have to have one.
Yes.
You have to have one. What is this thing that you just put down? Just a mark? No, you have to have a signature so that it's yours. Not we're going all the way back to putting down an X.
Well, yeah, pretty much, because even where the terminals require a signature, all you got to do is scribble because it's not legible anyway when you try to write with your finger, right? So, man, that's amazing. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I love being enlightened on the things that, that you're not exposed to.
That you're not exposed to. You don't know. You don't know everything.
Right.
And none of us can attest to it, regardless of what field we're in.
And you don't know what you don't know.
You don't exactly. You don't know. But the thing about it is that they will have you believe. They will have you believe that once the door closes on you, you will never get a key.
Yeah.
You will never be able to unlock it. You'll never be able to get out of it. And we got you locked in.
Yeah.
I know gentlemen that have gone and done 25 years in jail and got out of jail and became someone that everybody looks up to.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a locked door.
No.
When you learn how to turn the key.
Right.
You don't even have to be the owner of the key.
Yeah.
All you got to do is know how to turn the key. And you turn the key with turning your mindset.
Right.
You got to change your mindset. You got to be determined to go further. One of the things that I thought was, I always think was empowering with what you do. I'll watch from the background and be like, oh my God, he's doing something else. I'm always looking into that. One of the things was that even with all of the things that you do with the community and all the things you do, like you said, with the drones and having your programs and different things, you still maintain being an author. You still maintain writing the books. You still maintained making sure that your writing was enough, just in case. I looked at it as you being in the center. And you know how you used to draw the sun when you were a little kid? You made all the lines to the sun, to the brightness of the sun. I see that's what you do. You got the drone, you got the this, you got the this, you got the this, you got the this,
like that.
You got all these.
Can I use that? Oh
yes,
God.
You got all
me
these.
too. I love it.
And I saw it as this is the sun. This is the sunshine that he's trying to give everybody, and he's trying to show them all of the angles. And this is someone that came from where you said that key wasn't available, where you said that light wouldn't be cut on, where you said that we're gonna stop you here. But you've grown so much. I really, really, really wanted to appreciate and tell you that I admire. I truly do. The layers, those little points going to the sun, and the brightness that you give. And the thing is, we gotta show it. Yeah, we gotta say there's light, especially for men, because we don't get too many men that lead groups. Yeah, we get the coddling from the mothers and the coddling from program, but we don't get too many men that can say, I've been doing this 10 years. I've been doing this 15 years. I added on this. I added on that. There's a surface there that can't be penetrated. Yeah. And some people, I'm going to add this and then we're going to move on because we're doing our thing going past our hour. But the thing about you, Anthony, is that you have the sun basis. How many people can't stand heat?
Wow. Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That a lot of people are afraid. Yeah. That the heat is I'm gonna get burned.
Yeah. And or they come like a moth to the flame, but they're just curious about the flame, not curious about
what they're gonna get to it. Yeah, what am I gonna get?
Being lit within to have their own fire.
Is this a different type of vitamin? Can I live with this extra vitamin?
Yeah.
Can I live with this extra? So I wanna just applaud you for that type of thing. Yeah. And in applauding you, I'm gonna ask you about some of your things that you said. Play the tape all the way out. I had to think about that 2 or 3 times because you know how I am with words and everything else. I'm like, play the tape. Do they even realize what a tape is? Well, wait a minute. Is he talking about the tapes that I know about? Explain this saying. Just play the tape all the way out.
To the young man or young lady listening to me right now, somebody's going to hear this. You know every time you get ready to do a certain thing, I broke out in handcuffs, okay? Every time I get ready to try to make a move and get ready to do something, I didn't think about it. Now I can be driving down the street minding my business and something to say, hey, man, you doing good, man. Swing around the block. Go ahead and get you one. No. Play the tape all the way out. When I swing around the block and get one, all my resources are going to come tumbling down. My bank account is going to be emptied within less than an hour. My car going to be gone. I'm going to get locked up. So play the tape all the way out.
Right.
Play the scenario all the way out. And I told my guys to get out of jail. I told them sitting in jail, man, y'all better start playing the tape all the way out.
Yeah.
And I was in Walmart talking, and this guy said, hey, man, are you Mr. McCauley? I said, yes, I am Mr. McCauley. He said, man, I played the tape all the way out, man. Because he said, when I got out, my homeboy was sitting out there to pick me up in jail with the pipe already loaded. So he said, I played the tape all the way out. I said, man, tell me you didn't relapse, did you? No, man. He said, man, I walked home. I walked home.
Right.
Shaking and crying because I would have overdosed.
Right.
So he played the tape all the way out.
Wow.
Right.
Play the tape all the way out. You know, and it doesn't have to pertain to that.
Right.
In anybody's life, play the tape all the way out.
Yeah.
Right.
So consider the consequences of your action before.
Yeah.
Before you act on it.
So
right?
you can play the tape all the way out equals consider the consequences.
Exactly.
Before.
Exactly.
Every choice got a consequence.
Wow.
And then of course, you had Rise Up. Of course, we all know what Rise Up means. We all know stand up for this, stand up for that, be a part of this, be a part of that. But I know it's deeper than that.
Yeah, it's running into successful endeavors, uplifting people. Rise up.
Yes.
Running into successful endeavors, uplifting people.
Yes.
I want you to feel like I do. Even look, this is the insanity of it. Even when on the streets, when I was doing my dirt, I wanted you to feel like me. I ain't gonna be high by myself.
Exactly.
I took it and turned it around. I turned it around.
Yeah.
This energy right here, I want you to feel it. Feel like I do.
Yeah.
It's a great feeling. It's a great. This is natural. This is natural.
Yeah.
Exactly. And feel good. And feel good in it. And feel good in it.
Yes. The medical. There's medical. We were created and designed. God, we got more endorphins, serotonin, dopamine.
Yeah.
Go run to your trash can real fast and see what happens. You'll be just as high.
Yeah.
And you ain't had no substance.
Right.
Exactly.
I love that.
Your endorphins will kick in. But when you add in some mood altering chemical, you like a hamster on the wheel. You're wide open. You done incorporated something you ain't even supposed to be touching.
Right.
So just rise up.
Yeah.
Rise up.
And then of course we had the saying by Nelson Mandela about education is the most powerful weapon.
Oh my God.
Which you can use to change the world. And I don't know how many of our audience or how many of us even think about it other than those of us that know it. Okay.
Yes.
The one thing that they can't take from you, and my grandmother used to say this all the time, they can't take what God has given you. And they can't take knowledge once you learn it.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
Once you learn something, regardless if it's a good lesson, a bad lesson, a good experience, a bad experience, once you've delved into it, you can't unlearn it. You can't unlearn it. They can't take that from you.
Yeah.
They can tell you, oh man, you can sniff that, you can snort that, and you'll be fine. If you've had a bad experience with it or a good experience with it, the good experience will keep you coming. The bad experience will keep you away.
Yeah.
So you don't unlearn what you learn. And
No.
that's what the education is, being a powerful weapon. It can kill, it can defend, it can uplift, it can embrace, it can heal, it can do all kind of things. And it's all in the education.
It's all in education. That's what I knew at the time when I was walking in darkness. I said, you know what? I'm walking in darkness on the streets, and people will run to me and say, you don't even look like you're supposed to be out here. I knew how to maneuver because I knew that I was educated enough. I had to watch my back out there.
Yeah.
I had to survive.
Right.
That's education.
Yeah.
And Anthony, you know,
around.
Yeah, and Anthony, I know you've used this scenario with your kids where you told them, who's the best mathematician you know? And the kids say, oh, my math teacher. And you say, no. And they say, oh, no. My mom, she knows how to budget her money.
Yeah.
No. It's that drug dealer on the corner.
Yeah.
He can count.
He can
do measurements. He can divide money. He can do everything. And he watching his back.
He know the metric system.
He know the whole mathematical system. He's the best mathematician.
Yeah.
He's the best. It's not the guy that's selling the drugs.
Yeah.
It's the guy that know how much money he got to bring back. He know how to set it up. He know how to measure it. He know how to do. But he will not take that mathematical skill and use it to go and be in a lab somewhere and be a lab tech or pharmaceutical business or anything like that. So we have to pay attention to the education portion, and that's the education for anything that we do. So I really felt blessed with the things that you put forth. I really felt blessed with the information that you gave us, and of course your growth over the 3-year span that we've known you. Good Lord.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So if people want to get in touch with Mr. McCauley, please, Gmail, mailsofdistinction@gmail.com. He's on Facebook. You can do either or. Please contact him for any of the programs, and don't just limit yourself to saying, well, he's in North Carolina. He can give you connections so that you can develop a program, or you can connect him to the community programs that you have in your area, so you can connect with them.
I'll come out. Look, call me.
Yeah.
Get in touch. I got a Males of Distinction chapter affiliations ready, built.
Nice.
You need a mentoring program. We got it built.
Yes, and we need it. We need it because we have to connect communities, and that's what we do here on iPen Visions. And I want to thank you, Anthony, for being here. It's always a pleasure. And Felice, you have a last question for Mr. McCauley?
Yes, because I'm going to frame this because I'm not sure we asked this question 3 years ago. So with all that you do and all that you are purposed for this world, we know that God gave us, a day that we have a day of rest. So I would like to know, and the rest of our audience as well, what, Mr. Anthony McCauley, do you do to fill your cup or refill, or give us a new thing that you now do to fill your cup?
Oh my goodness. That's a great question. And I have to find myself making myself pull the reins back and said, today you need to shut it down. It's been tough. Because I've been widowed for 5 years now. And I must admit, I am missing my queen. I'm missing that balance. I'm missing that. And I'm remaining faithful. I don't have a revolving door of women, in and out of my home. And it gets tough.
Yeah.
So I find myself making sure that I don't get burnt out.
Okay.
But
good.
Felice, I make sure I can get me a pedicure. I can keep my feet done.
I love it.
When she show up and I pull my shoes off, she gonna say, this brother been taking care of himself.
Yes.
So I try to make sure self-care, I don't care if it's for me, I can go sit at the lake and get some of the most serenity that I've ever experienced before in my life.
Yeah.
I can go for a drive and purposely leave here and say, I'm not taking an overnight bag or nothing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to shop on the way.
Very good.
And I'll find me somewhere and I'll spend the night purposely.
Yes.
So I do little things like that for my peace.
Very good.
But I found the last few months it's been hectic because school is wide open. Thank you for posing that, because I gotta write it down. I gotta write it down and start looking at it to make sure that I'm taking care of myself. I'm getting ready to turn 60 years old in September.
Oh, you youngster.
I'm looking forward to it.
Very good. Very good. So, because it's really important. So for all that you do and all that we celebrate you for while we're on this, it is really, 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 really important that your legacy goes on for as long as it possibly can, right? And so, as you are the son with all, and then I love that.
I'm getting ready.
All of the little rays that are coming out. I love that with all the rays. You know, even the sun can burn itself out.
Yeah.
Without, if it's burning 20, because the sun doesn't burn 24/7 for us. There's a period of rest that we are away from the sun. So anyways, but yes, because we want to impart that to our community as well. That behind your superpowers, one of the things to keep your superpower is to make sure
you have self-care.
That you have that self-care.
Yep. And I want to thank you. Thank our audience for hanging in there with us. And as you well know, we only hang in a little longer when it's good.
Yes,
it's good. We hang in there a little longer.
We're now rebooking again.
Yes. So I want to thank everybody. Have a blessed evening.
Can you tell everybody about the digital magazine part?
The digital magazine, my digital magazine?
Yes.
Yes. My digital magazine, please, Anthony and the others that you have seen over the last couple of weeks, we extend that to them so that they can be in the digital magazine, okay? So that they can reassure you, because that magazine comes out after they've been on the show. So if it's other things that they're doing and other things that they're adding to, those things are in the magazine. So we want you to subscribe to iPen Magazine, and you can get that on my website, www.NanetteMBuchanan.com. As we said at the beginning of the show, we welcome you. And if you're listening and wondering, well, why can't my business be on there? Because you didn't send me an email. Send me an email and you can be on the show. I'm not difficult. I'm not difficult at all. Anthony, really thank you so much. Yeah, it's not difficult. Thank you so much, sir. Bless you. Please stand by.
I love y'all.
Good night. Good night, everybody. Anthony, please stand by. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you for joining us.